lovelies. So a little while ago, I actually had someone ask me if I liked being single, and I wrote a blog about it because it's not that I like being single, um, but it got me to thinking. My wheels started turning, and I guess I can say I'm used to it by now. I like living how I want to live and not having to conform myself to how someone else thinks I should live. I'm just going to read my blog, because it basically puts into words how I feel and what the little hamsters up in my head running on the wheel got me thinking about. I like being me without having to make excuses or change the way I am. I like living how I want. Doing what I want without having to answer to someone. I'm pretty much set in my ways. Though on the flip side of that, I like having help from someone if I need it. Like having financial help when I need it. Not that I'd look for someone with money, just the whole being a team and stuff when it comes to household things. So I'm kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't say I like being single, but I do at the same time. It's so hard because I don't trust a living goddamn soul to save my life. I'm uber protective of my girls, and in my mind, every man is out to get with me because I have young kids and they want them. Trust me, I've run into a few sickos that want to talk about my kids real early into the conversation, and it gives me the heebie-jeebies. And not in the how old are they kind of questions either. So yeah, I'm uber guarded. It doesn't help that my first husband was arrested in 2001 in one of those online stings where he thought he was talking to a 13-year-old girl, which turned out to be an undercover cop. Think Dateline to Catch a Predator kind of thing, but I think this was before they started that. Anyway, that's another story. But I think that if I didn't have my girls to protect and care for, that I wouldn't be so jaded and careful and guarded. But I do, and that's a large reason why I stay single. Because I'm scared for them. As much as my oldest tells me that she wants me to find someone to marry, because weddings are fun, she says.
Pretty sparkly dresses.
As she says, pretty sparkly dresses.
Yes, I did.
It still scares me. Either that or when I go out with someone, I don't know, my walls are so built up, I keep telling myself that the right one will be patient and wait for them to come down. But they don't stick around long enough. Or they're all just about sex. And I can usually tell when someone's all just about sex when they ask certain questions, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Don't get me wrong, while I love sex when I'm in a relationship, I just don't want it to be just about that. I do want to meet someone and get married, but I also have a very specific dream that I want to pursue before I ultimately really settle down, and that would be the RVing thing. Though, I don't think that's something I would even like to do. I've never been the go to college, get a career, get the perfect Ivy League husband in the perfect house with the white picket fence in a perfect neighborhood with the perfect kids and the perfect dog. I'm a gypsy. I have been my whole life. I've never in all my life lived anywhere longer than 2 to 3 years. I get restless, I get bored. I don't like people in my business. It's why I want to RV so much. If I don't like somewhere or something that someone's doing, I can just pack up, hop in the driver's seat, and go. No connections, no ties to anywhere. Shh. Being single is something that I'm used to. Do I like it? That's debatable. There are times when I'd love to have someone be in a relationship with someone that could help me, be with me, support me, love me, accept me. But another thing I have a hard time dealing with is that I'm raising my girls in a very specific way. And if anyone tries to come in and tell me different, I push them away. Harder than a WWE wrestler throwing someone down on a table from a top of 30-foot ladder. I have a hard time meeting anyone that can and will accept me for the way that I am, who will love me for my stupid idiosyncrasies, who won't judge me for the way I am or the way I raise my girls. It's hard for me. So I guess that's why I'm single. Do I like it? That's to be determined. So that was my vlog, but
Mommy,
you know,
can I play a game on your phone?
No. Oh, you're not. No. She just got done. Oh no, she's not played yet. But they do nothing but play PlayStation now right now. So it's
Sonic.
when they're not playing, they want to play games on my phone. And
That's a king.
I bought the PlayStation for them to play games, not on my computer, not on my cell. I guess ultimately, and I've mentioned this before, that it's because I am so unbelievably protective and guarded. You know, everything that happened with Michael and my first husband, and you know, just the things I see, and I'm scared. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm scared. I'm more like I'm more weary.
Shut up.
I don't know. I mean, it's tough for me to connect with someone. Like I have a bunch of guys asking to take me out, and take me for drinks, and I'm so nervous about, you know, all that I just said, but also I don't want to get hurt again. I can only take so much, you know what I mean? A person can only take so much before they're finally like, no, don't need it, thanks. You know, don't need it. Yeah, I took my nails off. I got irritated with them last night, and I was just like, this one's still holding strong though. It just will not come off. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. You know, people keep saying, oh my God, how are you single? Oh my God, you're so beautiful, you're so single. How are you single? Blah, blah, blah. And that, while that's great and sweet, you know, they say that, you know, good-looking people have the hardest time finding someone. And I've been told I'm intimidating, and I guess it's because of the way I am. But I don't know. It's hard, you know. And I mean, at this point, I've gotten used to being single. So, and you know, I had this 22-year-old email me, and I'm just like, darling, no, you're way out of my age range. And he's like, but I'm mature. I have a really good unionized job, and blah blah blah. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, that's all well and good. I said, but I have nothing in common with a 22-year-old. Honestly, I mean, I'm going to be 37. Ultimately, the biggest thing is that, you know, a 22-year-old, they have so much life to live. They have so much to go through. They have so much stuff to do. You know, 22 years old, you know, you should just be, you know, entering the partying stage of life and, you know, stuff like that. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want to take that away from someone because I'm way past the partying stage. Like, I'm happy as how to stay home and crochet my little butt off and being with my girls and, you know, just being home, playing with my animals and loving on my cats and my kids and no, you know better. You know, being online and writing and reading and just living a very quiet, peaceful life. You know, and I just, and number two, I can't give them kids. I mean, and I've had a few say, oh, well, I don't want kids. And I'm like, well, you know what? You say that now. You're 22. You say that now. But in 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you're going to be like, okay, yeah, I want kids. And at that point, you know, you think 5 years, I'm 36, I'll be 41. So it's, you know, I can't do that to someone. You know, I need someone more my age who either has kids or has made a very specific choice. Like Dave, he's made a very specific choice in his life that he doesn't want kids. And that worked out beautifully for us because I had the kids, he didn't want them. That was perfect. I don't want a 22-year-old guy that hasn't lived life. Because I know at 22, I mean, yeah, I might have been married to Michael, but I hadn't lived life. I hadn't done half the shit that, you know, I did after he and I separated. You know, I had all the, you know, partying, getting out of, you know, everything that I should have done at the age that I was when I was with him, I did after we separated for like 10 years. Because technically, from the age of like 16 to the age of 25, I didn't get to do that because, you know, I was at the boarding school and then I was with Michael and then like it was a very controlled, very like quiet. You're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to go here, you're not allowed to go there, you're not allowed to dress a certain way, you're not allowed to be yourself, you're not allowed, it was very much that. So when Michael and I split up, you know, it was all about, oh my God, I'm free. You know, and let's see, that was in 2001. And I met Cameron a few years later, and then it was all back to, okay, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to be this way, you have to be that way. And while Cameron was a little more accepting to me kind of being a little whatever, I still had to be that subdued, quiet girl because his family was the way that they were. You know, they were the Christian country, very, you know, no makeup, no jewelry, no, you know, like they're very much not like me, like not like my family at all. My family, if you go to a party at my family's house, there's music playing, there's alcohol, there's beer, there's wine, there's, you know, we're all talking over each other, you know, it's not a quiet, subdued thing. And I remember even looking when me and Cameron had our rehearsal dinner, you could tell like the weirdness between my family and, because we had it at Cameron's parents' house, between my family and his family. My family felt very out of sorts because they're not used to a quiet, peaceful, boring, no alcohol, no camaraderie, no laughing. I mean, it was just very quiet and boring. So when he passed away, again, because he came in the middle of my I'm free, yay kind of stage, you know, I for like the first year after he passed away, like most of that time I was in a really heavy mourning. I was just kind of going through the motions. Yeah, I would go out with my friends and stuff, but like I still felt very much married. Like I felt like if I started dating anybody or whatever, I felt like I was cheating on Cameron. I mean, I couldn't take my wedding rings off for a long time. I mean, there were parts of me and Cameron's marriage that was fun and was wild, and we had some wild times, but it wasn't me, you know, it was more him being, I don't know, it was, I don't know. So now that I'm older, you know, I've come out of that partying stage, and I'm not into the whole wildness and everything. I want someone who's going to be more my age and be, you know, have his career and have, you know, his kids if he's got any, or, you know, I don't want a young 22-year-old guy, because honestly, I have real life. I have the kids. I have the bills. I have, you know, the things going on in my life that a 22-year-old really shouldn't have to deal with right now because they're so young. They have to do the partying. They have to do the finding themselves to really know. And when I told him all this, he's like, you know what? At least you gave me an explanation as to why. You didn't just say, sorry, you're too young. And I'm like, good luck with whatever you're trying to find, sweetheart, because, you know, I I do. I wish him luck because he really needs to find someone, even though he said he likes older women and stuff like that. I'm not going to be the woman that he wants because I know specifically what I want. And 22-year-old is definitely not it. And it freaks me out also that Samantha's going to be 18 in October. He could date my daughter. No. Same reason I won't date anybody over the age of like 48. Because my mom is 53. So, yeah, no. I'm in that weird in-between stage that is very odd. So...
When you're done that, can we go in the store because I want something to snack, but I don't want to eat all the food.
We'll talk about that when I'm done.
Okay.
I have a bumper.
Uncle?
So, do I like being single? Sometimes.
I want to...
When I see my girlfriends having issues with their men or their wives, or I see your shadow, Lilia. Stop. You know, and they're fighting and they're bickering and they're yelling at each other and you know, he won't let me do this or she won't let me do that. I've been hearing that a lot lately. You know, I'm like, oh God, thank God I'm single. I don't have to deal with that shit. But then when I see my friends being all lovey-dovey with their men or their girlfriends or whatever, being all sweet and lovey-dovey and huggy and kissy and oh baby, I love you. Yeah, then I wish I had someone. But, I mean, like I said, I'm set in my ways. Do I like being single?
Oh, you don't need an envelope.
As my thing said. It's debatable and to be determined. I'm gonna go. Be well, be safe. Talk to you guys later. Bye.